Well, hello everybody, Bug Eater 64 here, and today we're going to be looking at a flight that started out with the C-160 and ended with the C-160, but not in a real good way. We did not crash, I will say that right up front, but we had an emergency. We had to make an emergency landing 100 miles from our destination, and we'll just look at what happened and enjoy it. Now, remember, I really like this airplane. I think it's very cool, and there's been one update, but it still needs some real love and attention. But I got to tell you, I really like this aircraft. But it's got some real issues, and we will talk about that once we get inside and start looking at this flight. So let's get started, let's get inside, and let's do our thing. See you inside the aircraft. And we are flying from Dallas-Fort Worth down to Corpus Christi, 305 miles. What could possibly go wrong? Okay, here we are at Dallas-Fort Worth at dark 30 in the morning. It is now 5:30 in the morning, and we are getting ready to start our flight. I'm sorry, it's 5:25 a.m. I have just been corrected by my sim. Imagine that. So, we're going to get things going here. Since this flight, I did make some tests and decided with the problem I was having not knowing how to transfer fuel from one tank to the other while in flight, I went ahead and put all the fuel in my B tanks and did a test flight that way, and it worked just fine. But that really limits the range of this aircraft. So anyway, we're getting ready. We've got loading our fuel for this flight. It calls for, SimBrief calls for about 4,200 plus kilos. So doubling that plus a small percent, and we end up with 11,500 pounds of fuel, which should be plenty. And you can see it spread out over ABC tanks. I'm also carrying a payload of 13,000, almost 14,000 pounds, which is unfortunately what FS Airlines pretty much limits this aircraft to, even though Wikipedia says it can carry 35,000 pounds. So there's some discrepancies there, but we'll work with it. Okay, so we got ground power. We're going to start our FS Airlines client, starting up the APU. So let's check this. Okay, and see what fly says. And we're good to go. We are just under, we got 11,554 pounds of fuel, which should be plenty. Cruising speed, the best cruising speed with this aircraft is 200 knots at a flight RPM of 1,305. Okay, per engine. So 1,305 RPMs on each engine. So we're going to get this aircraft started, and then we'll get out of here. Okay, so the APU is up and running, so we turn on generator 5, which is the APU generator. And with that, let's get rid of the covers first, and then we can basically...
Delta 401 request to end.
Yeah, that's not us. We are 7WS.
DFW ground Delta.
Okay, this has got, we've still got our taxi and landing lights on. Let's turn, that's the taxi lights, that's the landing lights. We're going to turn them off for now. Okay, our ground power is turned off. We're strictly on APU. And we're just going to go ahead and hit the start button and get these engines going. Left engine starting up. That way I can sit here and drink my coffee and contemplate the day ahead. The weather's supposed to be good. We might have some clouds, but it is supposed to be an absolutely beautiful day. We've got a 305-mile flight. So left engine is up and running and has settled down. Okay. So now the right engine will start. This airplane, she looks good. She's old. This aircraft been in, had a career of 50 years in the French and German Air Force and a few other military uses. It is a cargo plane for sure. She can carry 119 fully equipped military troops, 98 paratroops. She can also carry, be set up for medical use, and I just turned off the APU. And but because it is a military aircraft, a cargo aircraft that was never used by a civilian operator for passengers, FS Airlines will not allow you to carry any passengers. So it's for our virtual airline, it is strictly cargo. So we're going to try and do this flight and see if it can make money doing that. I have a strong feeling. Okay. Brake is off. We're going to go ahead and get ready to taxi.
Taxiing, hold short runway 18 left via taxiway Hotel 1 Whiskey Romeo Hotel Sierra Golf Whiskey Foxtrot, cross runway tree 6 right Alpha 47 Whiskey Sierra.
And we'll be taxiing down to runway 36 left, I believe. We'll see. Might be 36 right. We'll know when we get there. And even at this time of the morning, this airport is fairly busy, so we'll be dodging jets as we go. The C-60 is a cool aircraft. She's been a workhorse in the career she had. Short landing and takeoff capabilities. Yeah, this girl can do what she needs to be done. Okay, we got a hold here while this jet pulls in front of us. that's your weather radar. It is not operable at this time. Sometimes I can get the screen to come up so you can see the grid, but at this point it's not working. One thing I really hate, and I wish AzurPoly, the developer of this sim aircraft, would do, is clean off the windscreen. I would never purposely fly an aircraft and have not flown in an aircraft with a windscreen that's all scratched from the windshield wipers. It's tacky. In certain light conditions, it makes it extremely difficult. Turn off. Okay, we're all looking. Here we go. Working on the lights. Yeah, those wing lights that you just saw switch. Those are blue lights that sit on top of the wings to make the aircraft more visible. It's really kind of neat. But anyway, under certain light conditions, those scratches really hinder your view, and I don't see any purpose in them at all. I think they should be removed. And I have filed a complaint. That's just me. I'm old and cantankerous. Okay, so let's get everything prepped here. Okay, you see those lines of blue lights? That's the wing lights I was talking about. So the airport was busy enough during my time I'm trying to take off that I got put on hold. So let's pull out here. Get the landing lights on. We're going to get out on this runway and get out of Dodge. Or at least Dallas Fort Worth. Okay, so aircraft is in flight configuration, flaps are down.
Cleared for takeoff runway 36 right, 7 Whiskey Sierra.
And we are rolling. Pass rotate speed, but I give it a little extra. Now we can rotate. And positive brake, gear up. Pull up our FB. Course is going to be 184, I believe. No, that's where we're going now. So we'll turn down to 181 or 184, either one. It changes a little bit as we go. Here we go, 184, and altitude we're just going to set it at 6,000 feet. We're in no big hurry today. Plus I want to look at the city lights. Flaps coming up. And our airspeed, we're going to settle it down at about 200, 220 knots.
DFW Tower November, 327 Whiskey Sierra frequency change. KDFW 2,700 feet. Request clearance to transition.
Now this aircraft climbs at over 2,000 feet a minute without complaint.
06547 Whiskey Sierra. Cleared through the Bravo airspace 7 Whiskey Sierra.
Oh, it's going to be a beautiful morning. Looking forward to the sunrise.
Regional approach November, tree 27 Whiskey Sierra, 5,700 feet.
Okay, so we're going to be speeding things up periodically, like right now. But you can see the scratches on the windscreen. There's no excuse for that. They serve no useful purpose. They should be gone. Thank you. All right, back to normal time. Up again here as we get ready for the sunrise. Landing lights off.
Squawk 1200. Frequency change approved 7 Whiskey Sierra.
And the morning sunrise. Oh, that's so pretty. Does this old heart good. I know, I'm just a sentimental old fool. What can I tell you? I just think it looks really cool. The sun rising through the clouds. Something Microsoft Flight Simulator does well. I will give it credit for that. Those turboprops sound good. Very good. Alright, speeding up again. Okay, one thing that's nice is that in this particular part of the country there's a lot of small airfields that you fly by, so if we do run into an emergency, we've got some options even at 6,000 feet. So we're moving along just fine. Such a beautiful morning. Very, very pretty. And the aircraft is flying so nice. It does not have a working FMS, so that's something they are working on, so eventually we'll have that. So good things are coming, I'm very sure. So
Houston Center, November 327 Whiskey Sierra, 6,100 feet.
she's a very friendly aircraft to fly. She doesn't, you know, doesn't beat you up. Sunrise, especially in the lower portions of the sky, and then you look up over and above the clouds, you got this beautiful blue sky. So let's see here. Yeah. Looking good, looking good. Whoops. Okay. Left engine has just quit. The right engine is shutting down also. Okay, so I saw an airfield over to the right here, so we're gonna turn off the autopilot. Come on, there we go. So that's shut down. Okay, this was not supposed to happen. I might be able to, and if the, I don't know why the engines are still sounding like they're running, because I have no thrust whatsoever. Okay, so airfield's going to be to the right here. Looks like it's going to be a short private field, but let's see if we can put it down there. Okay, first position of flaps. Okay, there's the landing, the runway. Let's see if we can gear down. Dead sticking this baby in. Just be close. On the level dirt. That'll work. Yes, 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 yes. Shut that off. Okay, so we are down safe. Actually, it looked worse than it was. We actually had a landing rate of minus 336. So I can't complain about that. Dead sticking this girl. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to end my FS Airlines flight so we don't get penalized with that, and then I'm going to put some more fuel in this aircraft and see if we can fly it. But that being said, let's look first of all at that. See, we've got all kinds of fuel in tanks A and C. And I've got over 8,000 pounds of fuel on board. But it drained wing tanks B and shut down. So I'm going to have to look into that. I'm thinking what I may do in the future is put all the fuel into B tanks. Now that's really going to limit the aircraft's ability to fly any range. But if I just empty A and C and fill up B, as in Bravo, maybe I can complete flights like this in carrying cargo. We'll give it a shot. But for now, let's see if we can get the engines restarted. And then we'll taxi down to the end of the runway and take off. And see if we can finish this flight to Corpus Christi. Okay, engine's rotating. Look, it's trying. Okay. So it is up and running. Okay. Yeah, in the update they did put in the Garmin 430. Although in reality it doesn't do you a lot of good. So we've got both engines idling now. So we're going to taxi down to the end of the runway. We're able to get fuel at this field because, as you saw parked there, it's either a TBM or a PC-12. So, and they both turboprop aircraft, and they've got fuel for it. They've got fuel for me. Okay, so that was interesting. Get lined up here and be on our way. everything's set, ready to go. Chat flaps are in position. Turn off the APU. Okay, now that's shutting down. Okay, brakes released. And rotate. Gear up. Climbing at about 2,300 now. I'll bring it down, but she takes off in a hurry.
Austin approach November 327 Whiskey Sierra is type 1 miles northwest of Tango 20800 feet. Request flight following.
Okay, so we're back in the air, coming around here to head for Corpus Christi.
Walk 42477 Whiskey Sierra. Roger 7 Whiskey Sierra.
Let's get going here. Get back on heading and get to the airport. Okay, so we're set up for Corpus Christi on our flight plan. Okay, so we're at Corpus Christi. We're approaching to land. I was told to land on runway 17, I think, or maybe, I'm not sure. I think that's the runway in front of me, but I'm not positive. And after today with the fuel situations, I don't care. It's long, it's wide, it's clear of aircraft, so I'm going to land on it. Matter of fact, they did tell me to land on runway 31. But this doesn't have any runway lights. This looks like a parking area. But we're a cargo airplane. We're going to land here anyway. Okay. Oh, 344.
121 decimal.
My Deadstick landing was better. But those reversers work good. Okay, so we are down, we are safe, and it wasn't pretty by any means. Alrighty then. Well, there you have it. The flight was completed. It's not every day you land on a parking area, but we did. Wasn't the best landing in the world, but we got her down. The reversers worked fine. We got her stopped, so that's all good. This picture behind me shows you what fuel we showed we had left when the engines quit, and we had to make that emergency landing. I had over 8,000 pounds, and you can see in the picture from the tablet in the aircraft that we had fuel in 4 different tanks. Now it appears that what happened is that the outer wing tanks, once they emptied, the aircraft stopped accepting fuel and starved the engines, and thus they quit. And once they quit, we weren't going to get it restarted. One, we weren't real high today. I was enjoying the scenery and so on. But that being said, that should not have happened. So I'm getting in touch with the developers, AzurPoly. I'll let them know what has happened, and then see what kind of fix or what education they can give me on how to cure this issue. This aircraft has over a 2,000 mile range when fully loaded, and this flight was 305 miles. Well, at 105 miles, the engines quit. So, that being said, it made for an interesting flight and a challenging one. So, until next time, this is Bug64. Hope you enjoyed the flight. Hope you enjoyed the ride. And until next time, remember, as always, safe flying.